Hi, I'm Adrian from Ride Engineering. We're out here at Paris Raceway, and we're going to do this bike comparison. We have two identical KX450s today. One, we're keeping a little bit more stock than the other, but both bikes have Dunlop tires, Renthal twin wall handlebars, FMF full race systems, and a 51-tooth sprocket. And what we're going to do is use the suspension from one bike and we're going to put it onto the other bike. We've got two test riders out here today, a current pro, Tommy Weeck, and we also have Jeff Northrop, a vet pro. That way we'll get two different comparisons from a current pro and a vet pro. The concept is everyone likes this 2012 KX450, but everyone wishes it could maybe handle a little bit better and maybe it can stop a little bit better. So that's what we're going to evaluate today. The modified Ride Engineering bike, what we've done is we've added offset triple clamps, a steering dampener, a lowering link, and for braking performance we've added braided steel brake lines, an oversized rotor kit that we're going to start offering soon, and we're also got this experimental billet brake caliper. In order to take suspension out of the equation, because suspension affects handling, we've decided to use one set of fork and shock on both bikes. So first we ran it on the stock bike, and then we put it on the Ride Engineering bike. So now we're going to let Tommy and Jeff go out and ride the stock bike, and we'll get their opinion on that. Then we'll swap out the suspension, and they'll go out on the Ride Engineering bike, and we'll get their opinion on that one.
So I just got off riding the stock model of the 2012 model, and I currently ride the 2011 KX450 model. So to the 2012 model, there was definitely a lot of changes that I liked. Mainly the handling of the bike, the turning of the bike was definitely a lot better than the 2011. Right offhand though, the 12 did sit a little high in the back end for the rear shock than what I like. I would prefer it maybe to be squatted a little bit more, but as a whole, the bike was good turning, good handling. It jumped really great, cornering really great. The only thing that I kind of found that I struggled on a little bit is sometimes coming out of the corner, it would want to drift out and kind of ride outside instead of stay inside of the rut coming out. But as a whole, it's a great bike. It handles great, it jumps great, it turns great. It's a great bike.
Yeah, just got off the 2012 Cowie 450. I currently ride a 2011 Honda 450, and definitely like with where Cowie went with the 2012 bike. The bike definitely is really light feeling. Kind of the same theory though of what Jeff was saying about the back end kind of riding a little bit high for my liking. The other thing I kind of noticed that I didn't really care about was the braking was a little bit soft. It didn't really have quite as good of braking as what I like. But like Jeff said also, the stability of the 2012 Cowie was very solid in the cornering. I was able to really make it do what I'd like throughout the corners. It was really easy to maneuver and pivot through corners and get in and out of corners quickly. So definitely like where the Cowie's people are going with the bike, and definitely some big improvements from the years past.
So I just got off of the 2012 model that Ride Engineering has added a lot of new cool details to the bike and modifications. Right off when I got on the bike, the way it sat felt really comfortable. I like how the rear end was squatted down more. I just felt comfortable initially right when I jumped on the bike. Out on the track, really fast, really quickly. I was comfortable with the handling of the bike. Now I could really cut the corners tighter if necessary. Long flat sweepers, I could stick to that inside where I wouldn't get pushed out a little bit as I'm exiting the corner. Really like that. Staying into the corners, when I was coming into the corners, it seemed like it was really stable and it was always precise. It didn't do anything funny, which I really liked. With the braking bumps, the stock model, sometimes I would notice the rear end hitting me in the butt, where the modified version, it really tracked really well and stayed further in the stroke, and it made me come into the corner straighter, and it made the cornering a lot easier. Coming out of the corner, I still felt, well, I shouldn't say still felt, but I could really cut the corner inside, and it didn't want to push me out. I could really stay inside of the corner. Also, on the front, the steering stabilizer that we've added on there really helped the head shake. High-speed bank corners definitely took down some of the head shake that I was seeing on the stock version. Just as a whole, I really like the add-ons that he's done with this bike. Really comfortable, never did anything out of the ordinary, and I liked it a lot. What do you think, Tommy?
Yeah, like you said, immediately as soon as I got on the Ride Engineer bike with all the performance upgrades that they've done to this bike, it was immediately a comfortable race bike feel that I personally really like. The steel braided cables all the way through the front brakes and the rear brakes, the powering of the braking was incredible. I was able to stop on every single corner that I wanted to get into the inside ruts, and I'm able to make any kind of pivot or any kind of quick adjustment that the bike needed to, and kind of the same similar story of the stock bike was really coming into corners through the braking bumps, kind of hitting me in the butt, versus the Ride Engineering bike had a really stable feel going through the corners. I was way more consistent and able to really track through the corners, and like you said, also able to cut out of them sooner if necessary versus drifting out to the powder. The braking of the bike was, like I said, just incredible. Back end, the biggest thing though with the back end, coming through the corners, the braking bumps, there was no harsh feeling. It was all plush. There was just straight smoothness. There was no kick in. There was nothing unordinary. It was all consistent and really stable. I really enjoyed riding this bike. The feel that it instantly gave you was just instantly comfortable. There was no awkwardness on it. The power was immediately impressive. Everything was smooth. Everything just felt really good about the bike.
Coming into the corners was so much smoother, and exiting the corners was so much smoother. I just felt like my corner speed was a lot faster and smoother than on the stock version.
Yeah, you were able to really carry more corner speed coming into it, able to kind of tap the brakes to keep the speed going and smooth, and
come out wherever I wanted.
Exactly, just track where you wanted to. The Ride Engineering bike was definitely very impressive to ride versus the stock bike. I was very happy to see the difference between, just the few adjustments that they did, the triple clamps, the steering dampener, that's something I didn't even mention. I really felt like the Ride Engineer bike, I was really able to scrub it better. The dampening of the inertia of a 450 in general usually is a really heavy type feel, and when I got on this Ride Engineer bike, I really felt the inertia wasn't that heavy feel. It really felt like a 250F, and I was able to scrub things and do little quick movements with the bike that normally on a 450 you really can't do. The oversized rotor and the steel braided cables and the new Ride Engineering caliper was a very impressive thing to get onto and use, because it wasn't something that was just too much that only a pro rider would like. It's something that every rider, even down to a beginner, would really feel comfortable with, because it just gives you a better feel for the front end. You really feel like you're in more control of the bike and able to actually get the bike where you want it, versus a stock rotor, you don't really have that power to stop on that quick instant when you need to, and that's something that can really benefit all the way down from a pro rider to a novice rider for sure.
Yeah, I kind of felt like it wasn't on or off. It was, you could really get a good feel for the brake, kind of, it's a little spongy where you could have a little feel, but it had the stopping power of something big, it just really stopped, which I felt was really cool, and you could come into the corners really hard and still take that very, very inside line, which was nice.